Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the joint or the articulation. So a joint is called as articulation, that is a point of contact. Study of the joints is arthrology and the study of motion of the human body is kinesiology. So let us see what is the definition of this joint. So it is the site at which two or more bones articulated. That means we call it as a joint. Okay. So now there are different types of these joints we are going through. So in general there are three types of joints. Fibrous joints, those are fixed. Second one is cartilaginous, these are slightly movable joints. Third one is synovial, so these are very freely movable joints. So now let us see what are these joints depending upon the functions. So fibrous joints are the fixed joints are held together by tough tissue which develops during our childhood. Example is cranium. Second one is cartilaginous. So here the movement is needed but only to a certain point. Example is vertebral column. The third one is synovial. So here these joints are allow movement to take place. Okay, the freely movable joints. So what are synovial or the freely movable joints? Let us have a look. So here the synovial joints will have a lubricants. So it will be helping in the working engine. So it enables all the parts of the joint to move against each other smoothly. Inside you have a capsule which holds the fluid in its place. So the synovial membrane, it lies inside the capsule where the fluid is produced. So in the figure you can see the capsule and synovial membrane also. So there are different types of synovial joints. Generally we are discussing 5, but here we go through with 6th one also. The first one is ball and socket, second one is hinge joint, third one is pivot, fourth one is gliding, fifth one is saddle, and sixth one is condyloid joint. Okay, so before going into the types of synovial joints, let us have a look of characteristics. So here the part of the bones are covered with these cartilages. So this cartilage, it provides a very smooth articulate surface. So there is a capsule and capsular ligament present. Here the joint is surrounded and enclosed by a sleeve of the tissue which holds the bones together. So let us see what the synovial membrane is. So here it is composed of epithelial cell and is found in the lining of the capsule. It covers the parts of the bones within the joint. Coming to the synovial fluid, it is a very sticky fluid present in the synovial membrane. The functions are given below. So this liquid, it provides the nutrients for the structure within the joint cavity, and this contains phagocytes which removes the microbes. So this fluid, it will act as a lubricant and it is going to maintain the joint stability. In few elderly people we see the issue. The first one is ball and socket joint. It allows the greatest range of the movement. In this type of joint, head of the bone is fixed into the socket of another bone. And example is shoulders and hip joints as we discussed in our class. So the second one is hinge joints. So it allows the flexion and the extension with only a small amount of rotation. Only small amount of rotation is needed. Elbow, knee, finger, toes, ankle comes under this. Pivot joint. So this pivot joint, it will allow only rotation. So example is the joint under our skull. Okay, so if you rotate the skull you can feel the rotation. So example we give is proximal and distal radio ulnar joint. The next one is gliding joint. So in this joint, the articular surface of the bone, it looks like a flat and it move on the another bone in slipping movement. Okay, So what are saddle joints? The saddle joints, they will allow the movement of the joint forward and backward and even left and right. Example is wrist joint. So here the movement will be both forward and backward and also right to left. Here the next one is condyloid joints. So here it will allow the movement in all directions, I mean full rotation. So if you turn the wrist, it's a wrist joint. So if you turn the wrist, you can feel this condyloid joints.